Jim Prophet here again with my liquor. And speaking about liquor, I wanted to talk about something psychologically. America had prohibition and then ended prohibition. Now, even though they technically ended it, it still seems like to me in the States there's much that is prohibitionary, because I find it weird that, banning alcohol was a terrible mistake. It just opened up a whole venue for the black market, just like everything else, but yet they continue to criminalize that. But more so than that, they now just regulate it to death. And it seems that way with a lot of things. And it's just basic psychology. If you make something too tedious to do, people are not going to do it. You don't have to necessarily make a law against it, as it's much better to just make it expensive, make it inaccessible, and indoctrinate the youth to not want to do it to begin with. There are so many things that are anti-smoking, anti-alcohol, anti-this and that, kids grow up not wanting to do it. And even if they want to do it in spite, then there is this standard that you got to pay a lot of money for it. This might be a reverse psychology, so that people do pay more money for it, and those particular industries make more money than they would if they were just commonly available. I mean, look at abortion. Abortion is pretty cheap when you consider the process. I mean, it is a surgery, I guess, and for a surgery, it's pretty cheap. Why? Because there's no indoctrination that, to some there's an indoctrination that abortion is bad, but not as much as there could be. Not in comparison to smoking and alcohol, which is pretty ridiculous in and of itself. But there's not that, amount of, just heavy messages that, abortion is bad, you shouldn't do it. And on top of that, there is not as much regulation upon it to make it more expensive, to make it more tedious to get one, even though Republicans would like it to be, and they fight tooth and nail to prevent Republicans from getting their way, which, again, why is it bad when Republicans do it for abortion, but not for tobacco and alcohol, etc.? I thought you were pro-choice. But this brings me to the subject of moderators, because do you think it's just a fluke? Do you think it's just, convenient that moderators make our lives so tedious, so exhausting, that we can't fucking do anything? We can't upload videos, we can't say anything, we cannot communicate. They are purposely indoctrinating us to just be lazy, simple-minded buffoons that go to work, come home, and watch LOL cats and porn. That's it. They don't want us to have intelligent discourse. They don't want us to communicate as human beings individually. They don't want us to grow relationships and form bonds with other people. If they did, they would make it accessible. They would step back, not infringe on our rights, and just let us be. If somebody's mean to you, oh well, don't talk to that person or be mean to them back. Why is that a moderator's business? People argue, oh, it's their property, that's why it's their business. No, they're not in any way. They're not affected in any way by people being mean to one another. In fact, they're more integrated into the negativity by infringing on other people's rights. If they just let people talk as they may, how is that going to affect their website? Does it make the website crash? Does it stop them from making money? Does it in any way physically, ratify their website? No. So it's all because they want to. There's no qualms about it. There is no other argument other than they want to do it, and somehow they are justified in that want. But we are not justified in wanting our human rights, because where else are you going to go? We're supposed to think of the internet as a super free place that is not like in real life where you have cultures and things and you have to respect your fellow man. I have news for you. I have more freedom of speech in my day-to-day life than I do on the internet. In real life, people don't ban me. They can't ban me. In real life, people don't just come up to me and get up in my face. They could, but they don't. I mean, you know, there's more likelihood that you could get punched in the throat for doing that. But in real life, there is actually less policing. So what's this indoctrination that the internet is freer, and yet it isn't? It's part of the whole process. The same thing with tobacco, alcohol, and everything else. They're telling you that this is what freedom looks like. Freedom looks like oppression. You know, ignorance is, how does that slogan go? Freedom is slavery, ignorance is strength. That's basically what you have here. And unfortunately, it's not the state doing it. As much as you hate the big, mean, nanny state, it's actually private industries doing it. I mean, it's individuals. There are individual fuck-toothed hillbilly moderators doing it, but there are also billionaires doing it as well, and much more prevalently. So, what I focus on tends to be the billionaires, like Google, like Microsoft, like Valve, things that make money while oppressing you. Most moderators don't make a whole lot of money while oppressing you. Some of them do. Rich the Rapist Bula, for example, has made a cold million off of oppressing his fan base, and many other moderators do as well. But in the scope of things, it's not as big. So that's why I tend to focus more on those that have a lot of money, because the more money they have, the more they can do it. The more influence they have, because the more they can expand their oppression, because they can buy more resources to oppress even further, and it creates a vicious cycle. So, you know, if people really wanted to be free and loving and caring and respect one another's rights and not be homophobic or racist or things like that, why couldn't they use positive reinforcement? Instead of banning people, instead of, you know, treating them badly for doing the things you don't want them to do, why not use means to reward them for doing the things you would like them to do? I mean, wouldn't that work just as well, if not better? If, let's say, for example, YouTube does not like my video content. If they wanted me to upload content that they find more appropriate, why don't they just tell me what kind of stuff they like to see? Why don't they just talk to me like a human being and say, we're not here for political commentary. We're not here for serious business. We're here for LOL cats and softcore porn. You know, if I knew that, maybe I would be more inclined to upload LOL cats and softcore porn. That way, I could get in on the YouTube industry and make money myself. But no such advice exists. No, the only advice they give is to read the terms of service, which is the most vague, enormously contrived crap that anyone has ever made. And it's that way on purpose. That way they can just ban whoever they want, whenever they want, and everybody agrees with them psychologically because, you know, oh, the terms of service are right there, even though they've never read it themselves, because what is there to read? It's just 10 paragraphs of repetitive rhetoric saying that you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that, but what does that even mean? And instead of saying you shouldn't do this, why not say you should do that? And then when people do that, you reward them for it. Put them on the front page. Pay them a little more in your AdSense or partnered account. Do things like that. Isn't that what capitalism is supposed to be about? That capitalism rewards hard work. Capitalism rewards innovation, creativity, people that are nice guys. Doesn't seem to work that way in real life, does it? But yet people continue to support capitalism. People continue to abhor socialism and communism. And people, at the end of the day, are brainwashed scumbags that just exalt these moderator criminals. So, that's my video for today, how I connected alcohol to moderators. Because that prohibition primitive psychology plays a very important role in how Western society thinks and how they make you think. Now, what I want you to do is sit there and contemplate how this has affected your life. Because I'm sure it has, and in ways you may not even know it. Because, you know, it's not just about alcohol and tobacco and, you know, the internet. It's about everything. It exists in every facet of our lives. Maybe to different degrees, but it's there. So, I just want you to give that a little thought.